I got another story for you that's going to blow your mind. That's also not getting a lot of media coverage, corporate media coverage. Peep this, fam. So, more information is being released about Jeffrey Epstein and those files. And there was a bombshell lawsuit that was just dropped the other day. And I'll search again. But what I noticed is the only people who are reporting it is local outlets. So first and foremost, this involves Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump. And it's massive. Now, to show you the connection, right now, the oversight Democrats, they have released photos of Jeffrey Epstein's private island that are harrowing look behind Epstein's closed doors. See for yourself. I want to show you some of these pictures. Like this one here is creepy as hell. Why are there like these images here, these masks of old men's faces? This is a massage room. It looks like a massage room. Actually looks like it could be a dentist room. That kind of looks like a dentist chair. But also, I see the table back there. It looks like it could also be a masseuse room. Anyway, what is the deal with the mask on the wall of the old men? These are old men's faces on the wall. All around the wall. Look at it. What is that? What's that about? Again, from Epstein Island. Let's look at this as well. Someone said wall of horrors. Yeah. That is weird. Why are these old men's faces on the wall? Here's another one. This looks like a sauna. Looks kind of like a sauna or a shower. One of those community showers or a sauna. Looks similar to that. Check out this phone. If you look at the phone here, some of the names you can see and others are redacted. It says Darren, Rich, Mike, Patrick, Larry. But notice that some of these names they covered them here. They're redacted with the black marks. Why are those names redacted? Whose names are those? Because I'm curious. Interesting, huh? Kitchen. And then these are the G lines, JEE, different lines here. But they redacted a couple of those names. Another picture here. I guess this is one of those rooms.
Interesting, nice and warm in here.
Like I said, the creepiest thing to me are the masks on the wall. That was just creepy, right? Why is this important? Okay. I've been telling you guys a lot of these actions that Donald Trump has been doing more recently have been over the top, right? Whether it's Venezuela, whether it's Honduras, whether it's just crazy stuff. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. The Pete Hegseth boat attacks. All of this is a distraction. Because guess what they're not talking about? He's not talking about this lawsuit that just dropped in Palm Beach County. And I want to know why major outlets are not covering this story. Donald Trump is sued over Epstein identical trafficking in Palm Beach County. Yes, this is a real lawsuit. I'm going to show you the actual pages. It's over 120 pages. But they're not talking about it, folks. Wait till you see who else they name here. A new lawsuit filed in Palm Beach County, accuses Donald Trump, along with Elon Musk and Bill Gates, federal agencies, and other high-profile figures of participating in what plaintiffs describe as an Epstein identical trafficking and exploitation venture spanning nearly a decade. The filing submitted in the 15th Judicial Circuit, they are asking for over $300 million in damages. Let me highlight this. $300 million in damages, and asserts that the alleged conduct mirrors the operational patterns of the Jeffrey Epstein network. And no corporate outlet is talking about this. This just happened. How many of you heard about it before today? Let's go on more. According to the complaint, the plaintiffs claim the defendants engaged in coercion, retaliation, and misappropriation of intellectual property by benefiting financially and politically from proprietary technology the plaintiffs say they were pressured to produce. Wait till you hear about the technology. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because the words are kind of, there we go. The filing argues that the alleged trafficking scheme follows a structure identical in every material aspect to Epstein's citing grooming beginning in 1998, the use of billionaire-backed foundations as silencing mechanisms, and sexual assaults allegedly employing the same Blitz-style methods documented in Epstein victim depositions. I'll pause for a second. I stand to be corrected. An international outlet that reported this is one. WION. The rest is local. Continue on here. Yes, Kinman, don't forget that Naomi Campbell is, that's right, also part of that. Here we go. The lawsuit also links allegations to 2 prior cases in Arizona and New Jersey where default judgments were entered against related defendants after they failed to respond. Plaintiffs argue that those unrebutted findings should carry over to the Florida action, effectively establishing the alleged trafficking venture, the claimed intellectual property theft, and the retaliatory acts described. The filing includes references to dozens of police reports, alleged assaults, judicial threats, and what plaintiffs described as coordinated efforts to obstruct their attempts to seek help. That's something you'll see. Let me scroll down to see if it loaded. Okay, yeah. That's something you'll see here in the documentation. It's over 149 pages. The police reports. So there were actual police reports that were filed. Why are we just now hearing about this? Remember I told you guys every time they got closer and closer to releasing those Epstein files, shady things would start to happen? Oh, let's go to war with Venezuela. Oh, let's pardon the narco from Honduras. Oh, no, let's strike people in the Caribbean in the boats. They probably knew this was coming. The suit also accuses Elon Musk and Bill Gates and affiliated institutions of misappropriation confidential innovations, including a cybersecurity system, a defense architecture platform, and a non-hormonal contraceptive technology. Well, the plaintiffs say these were provided under promises of support, but later used without permission, echoing past claims that Epstein's associates exploited victims' businesses, ideas, and creative works under the guise of philanthropy. The contraceptive technology, let's remember what's been going on with Bill Gates in Africa, right? Remember we talked about that? That's something he had been working on, going to these African countries. In its request for relief, the lawsuit asked for more than $310 million in compensatory damages, additional punitive damages, the restoration of custody rights, sweeping injunctions, blocking defendants from using any of the disputed technologies. Plaintiffs also seek an expedited jury trial and mandatory federal contracting remedies. The case was filed November 24th, 2025, is now pending review in Palm Beach County, where Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence contributes to establishing venue. The full complaint is below. Eric, let's put the link to this in the chat so people can look at this on their own time as well, because it is long. But this is the document here. This is not fake, folks. Here's the case number. In the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Court, Palm Beach County, Florida, plaintiff versus Donald J. Trump, and it's multiple people. And this is what it says. The complaint is for human trafficking, civil damages, intellectual property theft, misappropriation of trade secrets, conspiracy, international infliction of emotional distress, and declaratory and injunction relief. They are demanding a jury trial. So even though they're suing for $310 million, they're demanding a trial by a jury. This is not good. And this is something else you need to pay attention to. If this was just about money, they would just say, let's settle out of court. Let's get the money and go. But they want a trial. So that don't look good for Gates. That don't look good for Trump. That don't look good for Elon Musk. And let's go back for a second. Remember when Melinda Gates had the interview with Gayle King about Bill Gates and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? What did Melinda Gates say? What Melinda say? If I remember correctly, Melinda said she did not like Jeffrey Epstein the first moment she met him, and that he made her feel very uncomfortable, and that she told Bill that she did not want to be around him. She picked up on it like that. What that tell you? What is going on in these streets? What does that tell you, folks, if she picked up on it like that? Show you some more here. Yeah, Chanel, Epstein broke up her marriage. I agree. That's what it sounded like in that interview. They have redacted the plaintiffs' names. Here's what they say about Trump in his individual and official capacity as before, during, and after being president, whose relevant acts include direct oversight of federal agencies, federal contracting decisions, and executive authority over entities that knowingly misappropriated plaintiffs' intellectual property and that failed to prevent or actively participate in the ongoing human trafficking summarized in over 70 nationwide police reports and judicial filings against the traffickers from 8 years of efforts to escape sexual coercion and retaliatory child separation against the plaintiffs. Long story short, put this in everyday people language, they are basically saying that he failed to prevent it. So they're alleging that he knew, which is what I mentioned on this show before. We think he knew. And then you see in some of those emails that have been released by Congress, some of those emails show that when they were mentioning Donald Trump's name, let you know that he knew, because there were emails from Jeffrey Epstein where he said, yeah, Donald Trump wanted me to stop doing this. And I've been telling y'all, he been trying to get you to look in all these, look in all these different directions so that you're not paying attention to this. Why do you guys think Pam Bondi said, yeah, I got the file on my desk to hush everybody up? And then she was like, oh, nothing to see there, folks. And then these emails start to leak out. And then he's like, yeah, go ahead, release the files, because he knows they're going to redact it anyway. But Pam Bondi and Donald Trump ain't talking about this. Now, let's go on more here, because I want to show you something else. Factual allegations. The 8-year trafficking and exploitation venture that began in 2018 has continued and escalated under the current Trump administration. So they're saying this is still an issue. Defendants engage in coercion, threatening or using physical force, restraining, isolating, or confining plaintiffs or threatening to do so against their will, causing or threatening to cause financial harm, and enticing or luring plaintiffs through fraud and deceit. I want to go back to the children thing. One of the things that's mentioned in this, because I didn't read all 140 pages, but I skimmed through some of it. One of the things that's mentioned is that taking the children away, threatening to, I'm going to take your child unless you do this. This is a mafia. It's a big deal, guys. As part of this exploitation, defendants required or pressured plaintiffs to produce creative works, proprietary information, or other intellectual property. Let's go down here. I just want to show you some of these. Plaintiffs were deprived of meaningful control over their lives, including their creative output, finances, and future opportunities. Plaintiffs tried to resist or disaffiliate, but faced retaliation, threats, or further coercion, making escape or withdrawal difficult or possible. So this goes on to say that they tried to get away, tried to get out of this. They bring in Elon Musk. Defendant Elon Musk, acting in concert with the Trump administration via Doge, so this has to do with Doge as well, has used plaintiffs' safe cybersecurity platform and Abrahamic Accords defense architecture to secure Elon Musk over $580 billion in federal contracts while refusing to compensate plaintiff or procure her technology via mandate sole source FAR provisions. So it sounds like to me, Elon Musk owes somebody some money. All these people roll together. It says here, Homeland Security, under the directive executive authority of Trump, has confirmed ongoing trafficking against the plaintiff, yet has failed to intervene or halt the venture, instead allowing continued retaliation, child separation, and IP theft tied to federal programs while he oversaw. This plaintiff is alleging that they were separated from their child. Yeah, that's a good one. Engraved better have my money. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that one. FAR, Federal Acquisition Regulations. Let's go on a little bit more here. Again, I'm not going to read 140 pages, but I'm trying to give you the gist of all of this here. Trump, through his official acts and appointments, including Elon Musk's role in Doge and continued DHS leadership, has knowingly benefited from and permitted the venture to continue, including the use of the plaintiff's stolen IP in federal defense and health initiatives, and refusal to enforce FAR 6302 sole source contracting for SAFE, despite admitted prior waste of over $400 million on failed system. He has been supporting foreign attacks instead of American defense from, this is interesting, instead of American defense from Hamas, Russia, China, and India through Stargate, the suppression of the FBI, and the suppression of the DHS. That's interesting. So even foreign policy is a part of this. By the way, I do not agree that we have threatening attacks from these countries. The US government is the big threat. Retaliatory aggravated SA, leading to permanent neck and spinal cord injuries, extreme stalking, judicial interference, false CPS accusations, leading to false police report arrests, and child withholding. Arizona custody order, and there's the number there, obtained by fraud, have all continued or intensified in 2025 under the current administration's watch. There's a lot said here. Trump bypassed Congress to send over $30 billion in direct military aid to Israel through suppressing their defense of Israel in 2025, while simultaneously endorsing the Gaza takeover plan. The funding facilitated what the United Nations, Amnesty International, and the ICJ have described as a genocide against the Palestinian population, including the deliberate destruction of all remaining maternal health and contraceptive supply chains in Gaza, expressly to eliminate any possible real-world deployment zone for safe gel. So let's get into a video. I'll show you a little bit more here. Like I said, just to show you guys, like it's long, a lot. But there was another woman who made a video. Here's the thing here about Bill Gates that I want to show you. Plaintiff versus Bill Gates and the Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill Gates as an individual. Motion for default judgment and application for entry of judgment with certification of proof. It says here the plaintiff filed the complaint on this matter: misappropriation of trade secrets, sex trafficking threats against, of course, name redacted. That's against Bill Gates. So there was a woman, she made a quick video also trying to tell people about this, that like, hey, the Trump administration been moving in some weird ways. Are you being distracted? So listen to what she said here.
Don't scroll, because I'm sure you want to hear this one. I was thinking earlier, I was like, why in the world did they have this cabinet meeting followed by a podium style speech in the Oval Office by Donald Trump today? Like, that's a lot for him. Are they just trying to prove that he's competent and able to stay awake during the workday? He fell asleep at the cabinet meeting anyway. So then I thought, no, there's a reason why they have him on camera so much today. So the press is looking at him and what's going on in the White House. Here's why. This is why we pay attention to small publications and independent journalists. Below, you can see this was published today, Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Donald Trump sued over a, quote, Epstein identical trafficking in Palm Beach County. It's important to remember that this is just a lawsuit at this time. So this is just getting started. The lawsuit itself was filed on November 24th of this year.
And not many other people are reporting it. And that's the part that's wild.
I'm going to do a little reading from the article because I really don't want to mess up the facts here. So it says that a sprawling new lawsuit filed in Palm Beach County accuses Donald Trump, along with Elon Musk, Bill Gates, federal agencies, and other high-profile figures of participating in what plaintiffs describe as an Epstein identical trafficking and exploitation venture spanning nearly a decade. The filing, submitted in the 15th Judicial Circuit, seeks more than $300 million in damages and asserts that the alleged conduct mirrors the operational patterns of the Jeffrey Epstein network. Now
let's okay, she's getting to this part here. Okay.
There's more facts and figures I'm about to share, but I do want to point out that if you go to Boca News now and click on this article and scroll down the page, when you are on a laptop or desktop computer, this actually turns into a 149-page complete complaint. So this is public information. You can go digging through it and find out all you want to know. Now,
yeah, don't look at it on your phone. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see all of the 140 pages.
There's lots in this article, but I want to read a few more key points because I just think it's so imperative that everyone know. So according to the complaint, the plaintiffs claim the defendants engaged in coercion, retaliation, and misappropriation of intellectual property while benefiting financially and politically from proprietary technology. The plaintiffs say they were pressured to produce. The filing explicitly argues that the alleged trafficking scheme follows a structure, quote, identical in every material respect to Epstein's, citing grooming beginning in 1998, the use of billionaire-backed foundations as silencing mechanisms, and sexual assaults allegedly employing the same, quote, blitz-style methods documented in Epstein victim depositions. In addition to the human trafficking, it also notes that the lawsuit accuses Musk, Gates, and affiliated institutions of misappropriating confidential innovations, including a cybersecurity system, a defense architecture platform and a non-hormonal contraceptive technology. These plaintiffs say these were provided under promises of support, but later used without permission, echoing past claims that Epstein associates exploited victims' business ideas and creative works under the guise of philanthropy. It's no wonder we had a televised cabinet meeting today, followed by whatever version of a speech Donald Trump gave from the Oval Office. It is no mistake that we are throwing out crazy things on Truth Social, like Argentinian airspace should be considered closed. It's no wonder that we are back and forth within the administration about Pete Hegseth's alleged war crimes. It is all absolutely important, but it is distracting from stories that are hidden deep within the local and independent press. I encourage you to go give this a read.
And I'm telling you, she hit it right on the nail. That's what I've been telling people, and I've been noticing it too. We have been distracted with a bunch of other things because this story somehow was buried like really deep. I'll show you what it looks like when I search for this story, because just to show you on my end, let me see here. Whee! When I Googled this, right? Peep this out. I just want to show you what it looked like on my end so you can see what I'm talking about. So we go to Google. By the way, even AI picks it up. So this is, I'm telling you guys, I don't know, they're not covering this story, but even AI, as soon as I put this in here, even AI picked it up. Boom, November 24th, 2025. That lawsuit, right? But look, Facebook, Raw Story, Reddit, the article the one from Boca News Now. Where's corporate media? A Substack, another X post. That's the first page. So yeah, we've been distracted. And talk is cheap because Donald Trump has been doing a lot of talking in the press right now. I'm going to go to war with any country that I'll attack anybody, blah, blah. He's been doing a lot of talking. And sometimes when people talk a lot, they're trying to distract you. Now, the Trump administration said that they cared about those victims. And before they got into office, they said they were going to fight for the Epstein victims and la-di-dee-dee-die. And once we started to see more of this connection with Epstein and the Mossad, and of course, Virginia Giuffre's book, which just came out recently, which pointed towards former Prime Minister Ehud Barak and accused him of assault as well, they're not going to go after Israel. That's why you don't have those names. It's not just the rich people here in the United States, it's also people in Israel too. Former prime ministers, former politicians here, former princes, royalty. We have been distracted. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.